Roth here of RotoGrinders, and today we're going to talk about the RG Discord. If you're not a member, you should be. It is a fantastic community and resource that RotoGrinders provides, and it's easy to join as well. All you have to do is click the Discord icon on RotoGrinders or go to rotogrinders.com/Discord. From there, you'll either sign up if you're new to RG, or if you're already a member, just click the link at the top to go to the sign-in page. Once you've logged into your RG account, you can be taken to Discord to log in there. Once you've connected those accounts, you won't have to leave the server. You can freely close out and reopen Discord without ever having to reconnect. The idea of Discord might be a little bit daunting to you, but it's actually pretty simple to navigate. Whether you're on mobile or desktop, the far left side will show you the Discord servers that you've already joined. Then next to that, you'll see the channels within that Discord. We have both free channels like Chiefs Prop Shop and our daily sport channels. And we also have premium channels like Blender's Game Theory or the Crunch Time channels. Premium members can see the difference between the free and premium channels by looking for a padlock icon next to the premium channel names. We also have a few pointers for new and experienced users alike. If you're having trouble finding a channel, make sure that you haven't collapsed the section that the channel is in. Collapsing a channel will only allow it to appear when there are unread messages in that channel. Also, we find that using the actual Discord program works better than opening it in a browser like Safari or Chrome. Lastly, if you're having trouble with one of our tools, your RotoGrinders account, or any other technical needs, you can hop in our feedback and help section of channels to get help from one of our wonderful support and moderation team members. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter @RotoGrinders or email support@rotogrinders.com. See you in Discord.
Grinders, welcome to DFS pregame show here on RotoGrinders. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka Blender HD, if you want to follow me on Twitter. And it's Monday, March 21st. And you know what we do on Mondays? We bring in James McCool because it's Mondays with McCool, the co-author with me on the theory of daily fantasy sports. It's a 15-hour audio DFS masterclass you can pick up at theoryofdfs.com. Give me those thumbs ups on your way through the door, thumb up, down, whatever, sideways. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit whatever you want on the YouTube screen. Good morning. Infamous Tuck, Suki Singh, Hog Large, Masher, Trey, Kick to the Head, Trey, Matt Mears, Joe Adamo, who took down the 5-cent Fanduel tourney on Saturday. Oh, so he made $100 or whatever. I don't know. Probably, that's something. I mean, for 5 cents, it's a good amount of money.
Made money. Yeah.
Yes. This past weekend, didn't you go down? You went down to Nashville. Did you hang out with people for the live final?
So I wanted to go down to Nashville. I didn't actually get to make it. The problem was that because I am a busy person, I only had like a couple hours. So I could be down there, and I was going to leave. And it usually takes me about 45 minutes, 50 minutes to get down to Nashville. It was going to take me 2.5 hours to get down to Nashville, because it had snowed at some point. And here in the South, apparently snow is just like a world-breaking event. And there were like wrecks every 36 seconds on the route down to Nashville. So it was going to take me, if I would have left at 1, I was planning to leave at 1, stay there from like 2 to 4 to get that back at 5 and then do NBA stuff. But if I'd have left at 1, I would have gotten there at 3:30. And then if I'd have left directly at 3:30, I would have gotten back at NBA lock. So I couldn't make it down there. It was a bummer, but
you got to get used now that you're living in Tennessee that there's 2 inches of snow on the ground. It's the end of the world.
Man, people are pansies.
I say the same thing. I drive almost normally, and people are driving like there's going to be like gaping holes all of a sudden in the ground. We got to go 12 miles an hour on a major avenue.
It's
for no reason. Just drive normally.
And even like, look, if you don't want to drive normal, then just like stay inside. and
Right.
don't leave your house.
Just kill yourself. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
Just like there's DoorDash, you can have your groceries delivered. You have Amazon for like same day delivery. Like don't leave your house if you're going to be so much of a nerd to just like drive 4 miles an hour and then get in a wreck with somebody who is also driving 4 miles an hour and then call the police because there's a scratch on your new car since I live in a military base. Like I understand that life is hard if you have never driven in the snow, but I promise you it's not that big of a deal. And for those of you out here there who are worried about driving in the snow, don't be a pansy, man. Just drive.
Drive north. The two things that you have to know about driving in the snow is that you shouldn't brake sharply, and that if you skid, you turn into the skid.
My mom always taught me whenever you are driving in bad snow, and remember, I grew up in Colorado, so if you just say snow, if you're just driving in snow, just drive regularly. It doesn't even matter. But like if there's more than say 3-4 inches of snow accumulating on the ground, just drive like you don't have any brakes, and just like it's fine to go like 35 miles an hour in a 45 or like 50 if there's bad snow. But dude, if there's not even like an inch of snow accumulated on the ground, don't even change anything. There's nothing that is going to cause you any harm at that point.
Right. It's 2022. The modern technology of tires is going to work out. With this isn't it's not horse and buggies. It's not the 1930s or anything. Just drive.
There's anti-lock brakes on every single car that's been made since like 2006. So if you are driving a car that has been, or even like 2000, there are cars from like 2000 with anti-lock brake systems. Just drive normally. And so I blame the entire state of Tennessee for not being able to make it to Wi-Fi.
Okay, but you were working on your Madden sims. We talked about that last week. I'm bringing up my graph for my Madden sims. I played 4 slates total.
Okay.
And I'm down. What am I doing wrong? I mean, it's small sample size.
Yeah.
Also, here's the deal with the Madden sims. Mm-hmm. The Madden lobby. I don't know how much action you really should get.
No.
I mean that's like there are a couple of people that are obviously sharks that play. You can play $1,000 head-to-head. If I want to play Emil Heskey in $1,000 head-to-head or Bills fan in a 215 or something like that, I can. There's no point in me doing so.
You don't want to.
Right, and that's the 3-man lobby a lot of times. There's a couple other people that I recognize there from, that post every day. But like there's legit, like here, this is the lobby. I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the lobby for the featured. Right, I'm not going to bring it up on this guy. I always go in the app. So here's the featured 3-game slate. The lobby. Where is this? Where the hell is this? Let's get in here. If we go to double ups, there's a $5 double. There's a 34-man $5 double up, an 11-man $25 double up, an 11-man 10-man double up, and a 23-man $5 double up. That's it. There's no triple ups. Then you get like some like 4-man winner take alls. You obviously get like the 59-man $5 single entry huddle, the $12 24-man single entry GPP. You get some satellites. Like even in the head-to-head lobby, there's like almost nothing there. It's like
you're getting down at best $100.
No. I've gotten down $300.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
I've gotten down $300 before. But I mean, one of the times it was because someone I don't know. I took a 109. Someone posted a 109.
Yeah,
and I took it. But most of the other 150, $200 maybe. But I mean, even if you just played double ups, that's like $40. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's for and I posted when I was talking about it in the Discord. It's like, all right, look, this isn't really for y'all with high rolls. it's just not. You're getting down like $50, $75 maybe if you fill every single available double up and head to head, and you're just doing it because you just want to.
Bored, I guess.
It works. I mean, I have like. It took me a couple days to work out the kinks with the optimization and like work out the kinks on the roster construction for cash games, which at this point, for those of you out there listening are like, man, this sounds like something I really want to be a part of, these contests. Here's what you do. Always have a player, or like always focus on players that average 20 plus fantasy points. Never have more than 3 wide receivers, and just focus on averages and you'll probably be fine.
Right. I tried. You gave me your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
It didn't work. So
no. The first 2 days, we had what, like those terrible floor games from quarterback.
No. I'm not talking about it didn't work as far as the results. I'm talking about it literally didn't work as far as. You told me it was 2 buttons. I followed your instructions and it didn't do anything. I tried it this morning. It didn't do anything.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me? I refreshed and it didn't refresh. Where's today's slate? It's still the slate from the last time.
Go check it right now.
I'm gonna go check it right now.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna bring. So do I bring it up in your one law? I don't.
No, you have to download it onto your PC, dude.
And I did download it onto I did. So I'm going to slate build. Oh, now. How come I press refresh all in Excel? I downloaded it, press refresh all in Excel, and nothing. You saw on the bottom, it's going through whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's still the slate from Friday that I was looking at.
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Okay, well, I'm done. That's what I would have played this early Madden sim slate at noon, but I couldn't refresh.
Why didn't you reg? You can just reg. You know it's going to be up.
I don't know. I don't know it's going to be up. I don't want to. I don't want to lose what my $40 in double
every day for a week to get your $40 down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It seemed like a cool experiment to begin with, and now I'm questioning why, even with 2 buttons, it may not even be worth it.
No, I mean it's one of those things where like we talk about this all the time, and like the ROI of how much time you're going to spend on a sport versus how much you can possibly make, right? So if your best case scenario over a month for this, let's think about this, right? If you can get down $50 a day and you have a 70% win rate, and that's really,
70% is way too high.
Good. No. I know. But like, just work with me here.
Okay.
You have a 70% win rate, and that's really high. Like you're the best Madden Sims player in the world.
Ever.
I'm thinking about this.
Yes.
All you're doing is pressing 2 buttons. It takes you no more than 1 minute and 30 seconds to build this lineup, right?
Yeah, but it also takes time for you to enter the contests.
Okay. So let's call this 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes.
Let's do this, right? 3 minutes.
Let's go 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Make it easy.
Takes you 5 minutes to enter and get everything set up and do all of your things, and then you do that twice a day, right? So you're getting down around $100 a day. You get down $3,000 over the course of a month total if you play both slates, and it's going to take you 10. It's going to take you what, 300 minutes, so 5 hours, right? So if you were to have a 70% win rate, and we're not going to do the compounding here, but say you make $1,500, took you 5 hours, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but that's not a 70%. No,
with 70%, right? But so now let's be honest about this.
60%.
Let's say 60%. So now you're making about $800 over the course of the month. But
that isn't that bad hourly.
You only spend 5 hours.
Right.
So if you're grinding, there's a reason why Bills fan is doing this. There's a reason. If you can make $800 over the course of a month by simply pressing 2 buttons and you have the best projections or whatever in the industry, then that's awesome. But I think that the realistic outcome here is something like $500 over the course of a month for spending 5 hours. And like, maybe that's worth it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It seems kind of worth it if you can max everything out, but you can't go into those 1v1s against Bills fan and Neil Heskey. You just can't.
Right.
There's no point. So you're getting.
And this is also if you want to try to bum hunt, like if you want to, obviously that increases the amount of time that you put in by every hour checking the head-to-head lobby, checking the 3-mans. Mm-hmm. Get a little bit better action. But Didn't we say when we were trying this like little experiment type of thing, you were trying to put together a model that the lobby is extremely small volume wise, that the lower volume player you are, the less bankroll player you are, the more you should be contest selective.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, if you're operating, let's say, can you put in the numbers? Let's say you could 58% win rate and you're just playing double ups. And let's say you could get $40 worth of volume. $40 of there's a 25 man, there's a 10 man, there's a $25 double up, a $10 double up, and a $5 double up. So let's just say you get $40 down twice a day.
Yeah. So $80.
Right. And and you win at a 58% rate. So what's the total profit over 30 days?
Hold on. This is going to take me a second.
No, well, all you have to do is go, okay, you're doing $40 a slate. Let me move my calculator over. Times 0.58. Right? 23.2, and then times 42. 16.8. 23.2 minus 16.8. So that's an expected return of what? About $6, $6.40?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. $6.40 per slate. And remember, there's 2 slates a day. Okay. So that we're talking about what, $13.
Yep.
If you have a 58% win rate, which is achievable. I mean, like that's grinding out of an edge. It's not a huge edge, but it's an edge. So if you can make $13 a day,
$380.
Right. So yeah, so you're making around $400 a month.
I mean, that's
fun. No, that's fine. But like, if you're making $13 a day, and you're only putting in 10 minutes of work total, I mean, you're talking about it's $78 an hour.
Pretty good.
Right. But for someone like me,
right?
It's like, am I willing to do if truthfully, if I'm sitting on the couch and watching an episode of Law and Order,
you might
for an hour, I might as well, because what else am I doing? I mean, like, it's not like my day is so busy that's like, why don't I take my $13 of expected value? Right. But imagine, let's say you have a $1,000 bankroll, right? You're starting with $1,000. $40 is only what? 4% of your bankroll, right? So that's fine as far as like Kelly's concerned,
especially in cash games, yeah.
Right, especially in cash games, right? So if you have $1,000 bankroll, and your expected return is $13 per slate, so that's $26 a day, right? No, it's $13 a day. $13, right? It's $6.40 per slate. You could get your bankroll from theoretically, obviously, there's variance, ups and downs. Yeah. Even if you stayed at just $40 a slate, you could turn your $1,000 bankroll into $1,400 by the end of the month. Then $1,800 the next month. Because remember, you can't move up in volume when it comes to Madden Sims, because there's no available. It's not like once I get to 10,000, now I can start playing $400 per slate. There isn't $400 of double ups, right? So there's no way for exponential growth simply in Madden Sims. But if you had a 58% win rate in double ups, and you could obviously increase your ROI by picking out good head-to-heads if you could find them, 3-mans if you could find them, right? You could always throw your lineup into the $5 whatever, and maybe you get a 10x out of one of these lineups, once in a while, something like that. But on a lower scale, they picture making $13 a day on average when you have $1,000 bankroll versus having a $100,000 bankroll.
Right. I mean,
and I'm focused more on the NBA slate tonight than And even on getting your Excel spreadsheet to work properly on my
I have no. Do you have the solver add-on?
Yes. The problem wasn't the solver. The solver worked. The problem was refreshing the data. It says in your instructions, just click to refresh all. I clicked it. It shows that it's doing something and then nothing. And then it still shows me everything from the slate from Friday.
But now it's updated, right?
Well, now in your file, it's updated. Yes.
Well, then download my file.
No. But let's say I download your file from today.
Yeah.
Okay. Now tomorrow morning, I wake up and press refresh all. Shouldn't I get the early slate for tomorrow when I click refresh all?
If I have, yeah.
Well, that's that. There's the problem. Do you have it up on your site now?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, so why am I doing this?
Well, because solver doesn't work on an embed.
So what's on your site then?
Just the ranks. You could feasibly build a lineup from just the ranks. You don't need to use the solver that I built.
So on your site, you have the projections on the site.
I do. Yeah. Go to the site.
So if you have the projections on the site, can't I just bring that? Yeah, we have on DraftKings, we do have Madden lineup HQ.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if I could just get a CSV of the projections, then I could just build my own. I don't have to worry about this.
That's true, but you'd also have to be a sub to my site, which I know you're not.
So then make me a sub to your site.
To pay me.
What? I have to pay?
Yeah. We if you really appreciate your friends and support them, you don't ask for discounts on their business trip.
I don't.
No. Well, I mean, you King Nit over here. Of course you do.
Right, I'm King Nit. What the hell are we talking about?
But yeah, I do have Madden Sims projections.
I don't think it's even worth it. By the sign up process to your site isn't worth the time that it's worth to do these Madden Sims. You told me, I'm just complaining that you told me it was 2 buttons and it wasn't 2 buttons.
It is 2 buttons.
It didn't work.
You pressed 1 button this morning. Go ahead and go press the solver button now. And okay, no, I guess now it's 3 buttons because you have to click refresh all and then you have to click the solver button. And
then you have to click OK. Okay, I'll give you that OK button.
Apologies for the 3rd button.
Right, but the first button doesn't work.
Yes, it does.
Didn't refresh anything.
It refreshed this morning. It's user error.
But I can't because I can't even refresh inside of OneDrive in the browser.
No, you have to download it.
Yeah, and I did download it and it didn't refresh.
This is riveting content.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm just telling you that's what happened.
So okay, all right.
Right, Mike B has a point. They have a book together, but he can't get free projection. I'm in your Discord. You
are part of the Discord, but you have said exactly 1 phrase, and it was when you got into the Discord when you said, "I guess I'll just join this one too."
No, I'm there. If people mention me or whatever, I reply.
How many times have you done that?
Once. That it only happened once. That's the only reason I'm there, right? I'm just like, okay, why am I not? Right? I'll support my fellow co-author by being part of his Discord. And then he says, I'm going to use this as an upsell to charge him for my site.
Absolutely not. It's not an upsell. It's a regular sell, first off.
Not a regular sell at all.
An upsell would be saying, oh, yeah, well, if you like my site, Jordan, then you'd really like this book that I wrote with this guy. And then that's an upsell.
I've already lost $306 playing Madden Sims. And now you want me to pay you for that privilege?
I have actually made money playing Madden Sims because I'm playing both slates. You're only playing
No, I played both slates on Wednesday and I lost both of them.
That was the day where both quarterbacks had the absolute floor.
Right. And then I played a slate. I got lucky by not playing. I was the only person in every one of my double ups not to play Derrick Henry. And I managed to get there because George Kittle in a double tight end build got 20 points.
Yeah, exactly.
And Derrick Henry only got like 25. I checked the ownership and I was like, I'm playing running backs that are like 9% owned and 11 million double.
Like I said, it took a little while to get the optimization correct, but now it's to a good spot now.
Kickstart says, yeah, make the top 1% of DFS players pay their fair share.
I'm just trying to keep the cabal in check, right?
Right.
It's important.
And we got a new person here. Alexander Malkow obviously did not watch last week or whatever. Doesn't watch these Monday shows, especially. Are they saying Madden Sims? That's how little edge there is in DFS anymore. We're trying to find it any way we can.
Bro, you gotta understand.
To recap for anyone that wasn't listening to last Monday's show, James said that he wanted to make a model for Madden Sims. And I thought that was a little bit ridiculous, but he convinced me that if I could press 2 buttons or 3, that it would be worth it. And so I experimented.
And it has been fun. And we just did the math that if you do have $1,000 bankroll, like it's probably worth your time to be doing it.
Right. If you have if the smaller the bankroll you have, the more you should be more picking and choosing your spots. It's when you have a $300,000 bankroll and you're trying to just you're going to get less ROI but more raw money. That's when I'm going in and posting a whole bunch of $5 head-to-heads, and if I get matched up with McLovin, I get matched up with McLovin. Yeah. Right? If I'm in 11-man double ups with most of the sharpest players in the lobby, some days it'll be like that, some days it won't. But like I'm trying to hit some minimum type of threshold. But I'm not as a stickler as I'm not as loose as some other people.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, no, I need to play 5,000 a day. It's like, well, if there's no edge on the slate, if the lobby looks bad, then you just don't play. That I've explained that with soccer before. Some Saturdays I'm playing $600. Some Saturdays I'm playing $3,000 worth, and it really all depends on what the lobby looks like. You find some $530 head-to-heads that you could play. You find it really depends, and also the size of the slate. Like I'm not a big fan. The 2-game slates, I'm not going to put $3,000 of volume on a slate that's going to be decided by who picked the better, crappier defender as a 1v1. 5-game, 6-game slates, yeah, then I don't mind.
Yeah, and that's something you really got to pay attention to, especially in the esports world. Like when you get these little 2-game dinky Counter-Strike slates, it's hard to really want to play them. It's hard to really want to like go hard on them, even if the projections are really, really good, because it's going to come down to like, all right, well, which back end guy that only costs $4,800 is going to break the slate by getting an ace for no reason? Or like,
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, no, you absolutely just hate
what the hell's an ace? I mean, that's a hole in one in golf.
When he kills the entire other team, when he gets
how does he do that?
By being a god, apparently. Is
that a special weapon?
No. Like, so Counter-Strike, because you've never watched it, because you're an uncultured swine.
I know Doom and Duke Nukem.
Doom is very, very good.
That's okay, really but that's my experience with first-person shooters.
Fair enough. Well, okay.
Wolfenstein also.
Wolfenstein's very good as well. Yeah,
isn't that's technically the first ever first-person shooter.
No, Counter-Strike. So it's elimination style, where like in one match, when you get killed, you don't respawn until the next match. So, or next round. Sorry, it's round based. But when one person is able to kill everybody on the other team, then it's a large boost to their fantasy score. And
it's like a streak. They're not killing everyone with like at one shot.
No. But when they're able to kill every other person on the other team, they get a massive boost to their fantasy points. And like, especially if they're the last player alive on their team and they kill everybody on the other team, then they get a clutch and they get a 5K. And like
clutch.
Yeah.
My wife likes clutches.
Does she?
I don't know. That's the type of bag, right?
No, it is. But yeah, it's so variant, and a lot of the time I struggle with that a little bit across like every sport, because I like the small slates because you can embrace variance so much. I like them a lot more for GPPs. I don't like them for cash games though, because I don't want to have to build a lineup, especially on a 2-game NBA slate, and the pricing is pretty good, and you're sitting there and like, do I play Avery Bradley or do I play Talon Horton Tucker to try to fit in somebody in cash? And it's like, I don't want to play this slate.
The problem with the small slates in general, not just cash games, but particularly cash games, is that the less options that are available, the less likely your opponents will be making mistakes. Because there's only so many options. there's not many ways to make a mistake. But on a 9-game NBA slate like we have tonight, there are way more options, which means there's way more ways for your opponents to make errors, right? There's also more ways for you to make mistakes. But if you're playing well, you shouldn't be making many mistakes. You should be building better lineups than the field. But yeah, imagine having $5,000 in cash games on a 2-game, soccer slate, or it's like where like no one can have a bad lineup as long as they're playing players that are in the starting lineup. And it's like, would you rather have that a defender? Like, which $3,200 defender did you play? And that's the 1v1 in almost all of your head-to-heads. Or would you rather have it that you're playing a lot of head-to-heads with people that are your 4v4 off of, and their lineup is 12 points lower projected than yours? It's like that could happen on a larger slate, on a two-game NBA slate. It's hard to make mistakes, really.
Right. Well,
or mistakes that are big enough that it's worth even having. Even the variance isn't even worth doing.
And especially in NBA. I think that 2-game like baseball slates, 2-game hockey slates, stuff like that, where there is so much variance and it's so event oriented and driven that the projections matter a bit less. But in NBA, I mean,
right, you're right. It's much different. Like what I'm talking about is more NBA oriented.
Yeah.
Like I think in MLB and NHL, I know DJ Dog is talking about that in the chat. Like here's the thing about, we're going to get into, obviously baseball's coming up soon. The smaller the slate in shorter slates in baseball, I think have a higher edge than shorter slates in basketball and in football.
Absolutely.
And it's primarily because most baseball slates are large slates. Most baseball slates, yeah, you do get the afternoon 4-gamer or the evening 5-game, someone they split the day. But a lot of times you'll get 13-game slates, where on slates that are that large, are normal to large, correlation matters almost more than projection and leverage.
Yeah.
Right. So like most likely you're building stacks. You're building double stacks. You're doing stuff like that. The problem comes in on a 2-game baseball slate is that there's only so many ways to stack because you only have 4 teams to make combinations of. And what ends up happening is that average players, because it's baseball, they go, well, what they'll do is they'll stack 2 teams and play the 2 pitchers of the other teams that they're not stacking.
Yep.
And you'll get there'll be so many duplicates of that style of lineup of a 5-man 1-1-1. Then you have 4-3-1, 4, any combination of that it's more beneficial to avoid duplication that you're actually playing lineups that are not correlated. Like you're more likely on a shorter MLB slate to play a 3-2-2-1 lineup, and one of the pitchers you're playing is still going against 2 of the batters that you're playing. So you're almost not stacking. Now on a 12-game slate, that's a minus EV lineup. But on a 12-game slate, like, have you ever on a slate that's that type of size even thought about duplication?
No.
I don't consider is this lineup going to be, I have to leave money on the table. I can't spend 50,000, right? I can't I have too many chalk players in my lineup. It's like duplication is not even I don't even consider it.
The only
whatsoever.
thing I think about when it comes to not necessarily duplication, but when I think about leverage is I will consider how owned individual players are, and mostly pitchers. I mostly worry about pitchers on slates that size, but I never worry about duplication. And I'm not going to.
Right. Kickstart says, by the way, Blender, you missed Marquise Chris night the other night. Did that happen the other night? I haven't played NBA in 3 days.
Bro, I don't even know. I have not played an actual NBA slate in probably like 2 weeks. I have played I've done my due diligence of playing like one lineup in the large contest but I'm not even paying attention to it after lock because I just hate NBA at this point. It's March 21st, man. I'm done with NBA. I'm completely done with NBA at this point.
Well, the good part at least is that there's not much overlap.
I am so done with NBA that I built a Madden Sims ranks. Like that's how done with NBA.
But really, 7, 8, 9. There's only 4 days of regular season NBA that overlaps with MLB regular season.
Yep.
So isn't that a good thing?
When MLB gets here, yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah, when it gets here, right. Alexander Malkow asks about a fantasy basketball finale ticket. Where do you begin? I would begin by learning how to play DFS.
I would also begin by and with a less sarcastic answer. Just like find any projection set. If you don't have a RotoGrinders subscription, get a RotoGrinders subscription, and then find out who like the plays. Here's what you do for NBA. Go to RotoGrinders, go to lineup HQ, remove the players with the lowest projection in the optimizer. 2 of them.
You don't even have to do that. You don't even have to do that.
And then just run an optimization, just run 100 lineups, and then see who ends up being the most popular players in those lineups, and then build around that. And then you can use skill expression if you want to just like build a lineup by hand, or you can just run with optimizers. But you're not going to hear Jordan and I talk much about like NBA and how to build great lineups, because I've said it before. The difference between a good lineup in NBA DFS and a great lineup in NBA DFS is usually just luck.
Right.
So just build based on projections.
No, he says he won 50 plus tickets. It's like, well, then build 50 good lineups.
Yeah. If you really want to party, and it's 10:37 a.m. I personally have not even run projections for my site yet. But if you want to be different, I guess what you do is probably just like find the lowest owned stud and try to force him into a bunch of lineups.
But that's not how you play DFS.
No, but if you're building 50 lineups and you want to be different and you want to have skill expression, then do that. But otherwise, just play 50 good lineups. It's hard to talk about NBA DFS from like a build cool lineups standpoint, because it's just such a boring binary sport.
Yeah, but you still have to learn the concepts of DFS. Like I could show up to any sport without knowing anything and build good lineups.
Yeah, you could.
Right. So like the best thing to do is to get Theory of Daily Fantasy Sports. It's a 15-hour audio DFS masterclass. You can find a theoryofdfs.com. Or you could watch like 500 past episodes of this show and pick up on, just that's why it's like the question is essentially, how do I play DFS? And it's like, it's hard to answer that in less than 15 hours.
Right.
Right.
I think
like
you did a pretty good job answering it in 15 hours though.
Right. And especially like, well, what could be specific nuances of today's slate? It's a 9-game slate where we have Kuzma questionable, LeBron questionable, Embiid questionable, Towns questionable, SGA questionable, Dragic, Winslow, and then some other guys. Devontae, like dude, like none of this matters. Like when is some of these games? Kuzma, Washington plays at 8. LeBron play. At least the slate. Like what I like about today's slate is that the last game is 8:30.
Yeah.
So like I'm tonight I could play. Like it's not like 10 o'clock games and stuff. But I'm like, LeBron's playing at 7. Embiid is playing at 7:30. Karl Anthony Towns is playing at 8:30. SGA is playing at 8 o'clock. Dude, we may not know 1, 2 that these people until after.
Let's put it this way, my dude. We could tell you the exact perfect optimal lineup right now, right this second, and you might not use any of those players.
Right. Right. You literally may not use any of those players.
There might be who's the top value right now in RotoGrinders? Darius Garland.
Well, I have FanDuel up now currently. Should I bring up DraftKings?
Whatever you want to bring up, man. I'm just giving an example of like Darius Garland is quote unquote the best value on RotoGrinders right now. There might be 5 or 6 players ahead of him. 30
right by the end of it. Right. So, if we go right now based on our 9 a.m. projections on DraftKings, the optimal lineup has Claxton in it and James Johnson. What's going on? Is someone out for the Nets? No, Drummond's still in. Yeah, this is good luck with this lineup. Right, you're gonna have to hope for the best. Getting some, Ish Smith. Yeah, there's not much. There's not. By looking at this type of lineup right now, it shows the lack of cheap value on this slate.
Mhm.
A lot of the good value is more in the 7 to 8K range. But all we need is these questionable guys. Because like Embiid sits. Well, that opens up the world. LeBron sits.
If
SGA, all these guys are massive.
Questionable guys. Yeah. If any of these questionable guys are out, you instantly get like 3 guys that you can play that are under 5K.
Right. That are in James Johnson, Nick Claxton, and Ish Smith.
Like if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is out, you arguably get like,
Trey Man or someone like that.
They're against Boston. But if Kyle Kuzma is out, you have 3 players that can fill out any lineup.
Right.
Automatically. Because they're up against Houston. And like Houston is just dog trash and all they do is
and also when you take out a 35% usage player from the lineup, it has to go somewhere.
Yeah. So
that's the main reason. New people start tuning into this show and they go, it's NBA strategy time and whatever. It's like, it's 11 o'clock in the morning and we got 16 players questionable. And that only counts the people that are on the injury report, right? Because it'll be 6 o'clock and 14 people get added to it. And then people are game time decisions. Like there's nothing specific we could go over for an individual NBA slate that's worth a crap now. We could talk about general strategy, DFS strategy, game theory as a whole. That's why, especially on Mondays, it's basically me and you shooting the shit about like just general stuff with the Madden Sims and League of Legends and MMA, NBA, MLB, whatever it happens to be. That's what the Monday shows are all about.
Like ROI projections and stuff like that based on what your win rates are, like those kinds of things. And again, Jordan is very harsh, but I will respond a little bit like softer here. Tuning in on Mondays, you're going to get a lot of Jordan and I just like talking about things because that's what we like to do. And that's something that is valuable in its own right. Later on, there will be shows on RotoGrinders that are going over the actual slate when there has been more information and more news that has been coming out and stuff.
Right. And there's also nothing to review. Like that's why we do this on Mondays.
Right.
Because like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, I'll review the slate. To the slate that we're playing tonight on Monday, I'll spend half the show tomorrow going over what sharp players did and everything like that. So during
NFL season, we actually do get to do reviews, which is nice. That is nice to review the NFL slates. But reviewing Monday mornings during NBA season when there's nothing else, like you're just gonna get a lot of us talking about Madden Sims and like beards and stuff.
Well, we got MLB coming up. We could do at least MLB. MLB you could preview a little bit better earlier in the day than NBA for sure. I mean, MLB starting lineups aren't out, but other than some rest days here or there, like
changes in the batting order, do a couple different teams, platoon splits and stuff like that. But with MLB, I also think that like we can actually look back at the slate before. You can look back at Sunday slates on Monday and actually glean things from it for MLB because, like I said, you can tell when with baseball, you can tell a really, really good lineup. You can tell when people build things out. You can look at exposures and stuff like that. I think that's way harder to do in NBA. I just think that it's way, way harder to do in NBA.
Let's see. Alexander's asking about your Discord server. People can join that for nothing, right?
Yeah. That's free. I have a link to it on the site. If you go to paydirtdfs.com, in the top nav bar, there's a Discord link, and then you can just click on that, and then it'll give you a link into the Discord. And I do answer a lot of very specific questions there. I'm always happy to answer questions there that more pertain to like the questions that you've been asking about how you should be playing this, how you should be approaching it. I'm happy to answer questions there, and that goes for anybody. I'm always happy to answer questions. And if you tag Blender, he might pop out of nowhere and actually answer a question and make an appearance.
Yeah, but you should be doing that in the RotoGrinders Discord in my channel. Yeah. You go to rotogrinders.com/Discord. That's what you should do, James. You have to create a forwarder, a URL forwarder.
I have one.
So paydirdfs.com/Discord. If I go there, will it direct me to that URL for the Discord?
One sec. I actually do have one. Hold on.
Okay.
I made.
Trying to teach you some web stuff.
Yes, actually, if you go to paydirtdfs.com/discord, it will go there.
Okay, great. Someone learned about URL forward.
I am so bad at website management.
Right. Well, because you're going to have to say the URL at some point on a show or somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier than saying, go to the site, go to the nav, click this button. It's like, it's just go there. Ding.
Yeah, I know. I'm so bad at it.
Right. Well, that's my expertise. Obviously, it's not clicking 3 buttons in Excel. That don't work.
They do work.
The refresh doesn't work.
It does.
After this show, I'm going to download your file again.
You did it at the beginning of the show and it refreshed and you brought up the morning.
No. It didn't refresh when I clicked refresh. You clicked refresh on your end and then I brought it up.
Oh, okay. Hold on. 1 second.
That's what I'm talking about. Now you understand what I'm talking about?
Do you still have it up?
I have your OneDrive in the browser up.
Okay, 1 sec. I'm gonna load up the afternoon. And we're gonna show
But I don't want you to load it up. I want to be able to load it up.
Well, I still have to put in the CSV for it.
Okay.
Because Draftkings doesn't allow you to pull from the API.
So you have to do this manually?
I just have to put in the CSV. That's the only thing I have to do.
Okay. So if I download this file right now,
Yeah,
save
now
it.
you're good.
I'm downloading the file to my computer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to save it as Matt. Do I have to save it as the exact file name?
Shouldn't have to.
No, I shouldn't have to. Right, of course not. Okay, so I'm going to save it as mine, and now I'm going to open it up in Excel. Okay, in the actual Excel program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to load it all up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do live. Do I enable macros?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now I got the Patrick Mahomes. It says security warning, external data connections have been disabled, but I enabled them.
Yes, you enable them.
Right, of course. Now I got my Excel spreadsheet up.
There we go.
So now what do I do? Now I go to
refresh
the
all.
the data tab.
Yep. Follow the instructions.
Right. And click refresh all.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Maybe I could even let's show the people. Share. Now I'm sharing my Excel window now with the people. So this is the early slate. So you're telling me that if I press this refresh all, I should get the information now for the late slate.
You should.
Okay. By just pressing that button.
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to press that button. Okay. Now I'm getting a spin wheel, whatever, rainbow, whatever the hell. Running background query. Now, how long should this take?
I don't know, like 15 seconds.
Okay. Oh, now I'm getting Saquon Barkley and Miles. It worked.
Well.
And then I go to Solver right here.
Right there.
And I press solve. That typically takes about maybe 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, like 10 seconds, yeah.
Right. Okay, here it goes. There it goes. It's putting it in. All right, are we going to get a DST? No, we're not getting a DST. Nope. Come on. Buccaneers. Okay, you're good. How about a flex? No flex? So telling me not to play without a flex. Nope.
Your computer is slow, my dude.
Yeah, I'm also running so many other things also. That's why.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right. That may be the reason, because I've tried to do sims in Excel, and when people's like, "Oh yeah, I spit out all the line," I did a combination solver for MMA,
mm-hmm.
And MMA, like it's a 12 fight slate.
Yeah.
So it's 24 fighters. You figure how long should it take You tell me, because you're the Excel person. How long should it take, based on the constraints of 50,000 in salary max, have it make all the combinations of all possible lineups?
Oh man, a long time probably.
Are you sure? Because like someone like Nerdy Tenor tells me he could do it in less than a minute. I mean, less than like 10 seconds even.
If you're doing it in Excel, like with an Excel.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's not doing it in Excel. But all I could say is that I tried doing that, and I walked away from my computer, and I came back an hour later, and it still was not done.
I have set up a combinatorics program
but also maybe I'm just not even doing it right.
So
I mean, I did it right, because after like hour and 40 minutes, it came up with all of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, so it did actually work. It's just that my methodology may just be really slow.
Yeah. You probably did it right. When I run combinatorics, because I do it for League of Legends sometimes, you have to be really, really careful, because sometimes you'll end up in a loop that you really shouldn't be in, and like you'll be trying to make combinations. It can't happen for MMA though, right? Because like there's no team. And
right, there's no right. That's what makes it easy, right? It's all you can, and I make it so all possible lineups, and then I can make one all possible lineups, and you can't have the two fighters from the same fight in the same line.
Yeah.
But even so, like no matter what I do, it's,
so I mean,
to create all of them takes me forever.
And you're doing it in Excel, right?
Yes.
So Nerdy Tenor's not doing it in Excel.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I know. Like for instance, like petty theft. He literally uses AWS. Like he uses Amazon Web Services for stuff, because he's doing tournament sims, and he's doing like
right. Well, that would be so, to offload that to a server obviously would be fast.
Yeah, but like in terms of combinatorics, you probably just need Python for it. I don't think that you would need something super high level. Like I
don't want to have now. This sounds like way more than $3.
It's not though. Like, okay, like if after you build the program, which obviously you wouldn't be able to do because you only press 3 buttons. There's a lot more buttons that comes into Excel.
No. I mean, like I said, aren't you proud of me that I was able to even build something that created all the lineups?
I am legitimately proud of that. Yeah.
Right. To me, I consider that to be the fact that I was able to do that, and James, I was able to create all the lineups and then have a second sheet with all the lineups that are in the actual contest and match them up.
Fantastic. That is I'm proud of you. I really am. And like, frankly,
I know you're thinking like, oh my God, you're like at a scale from 1 to 10, you're like at a level 3 of Excel.
Yeah, but like I just figured out how to put paterdfs.com/discord and make it work. So we're allowed to be on the same levels here.
Eric Brunick in chat says an hour takes like 1 second to make all possible MMA lines.
Yeah. It doesn't.
See, that's the problem. I'm an hour, 90 minutes.
Yeah,
I have to be doing something.
Granted, it doesn't really matter that it takes you that long for a weekly sport. I mean,
no, of course not. Why do you think I'm not like, oh my God, or whatever? But I'm doing it primarily to back test things.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's not that big of a deal for a weekly sport. Like you can do it for PGA if you really wanted to.
No, PGA. It would take it. I would be on a 154 golfer field for me to create all possible lineups. Well, I would essentially have to start it in Excel and then give up my computer for the next 5 days.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, it would be literally days. But I mean, if you were to set constraints about guys who were certain things, like you could feasibly do that. But it's going to take forever, and it's the only reason why you do it is for a weekly sport. Can't do it for something like NBA. Can't do it for something like I don't know. I'm trying to think of daily stuff that doesn't have a million people. But people run into a lot of issues when it comes to combinatorics anyway. Like I remember when we had to do the combinatorics for back testing for League of Legends to figure out like a certain stat that we were trying to build. It was basically pace at the time. We had to do the combinatorics on figuring out all the different combinations of positions that could be going somewhere at one time. And it was days. It was days worth of data. It sucked. It was terrible. Combinatorics is the worst.
Clay Davis says, do you have a step-by-step if we become a sub? How to do this process? No. Yeah, I mean, you essentially have to take an Excel class.
Yeah, I mean, I do coaching. I do coaching.
Right.
If you're willing to like really jump into things, if you want to learn
Coaching in specifically in Excel.
coaching for specifically Excel, yeah. And I do
Right.
DFS coaching as well for developing goals and for developing milestones, stuff like that.
Right.
Um,
But I think what Clay is asking is specifically about
yeah,
Excel. If most people notice that I talk about stuff that I try out, I don't even want to say do. I'm not very good in Excel. But me not being like, when I say I'm not very good in Excel, that's in comparison to like you.
yeah, yeah.
In comparison to the layperson, that Excel is just like, oh, look at these pretty boxes.
Mhm.
I'm like 2 steps up. I'm above. I'm not that far. I'm truthfully, I'm really not that far above that. But I'm the type of person that it's like, oh, how do I do this? Let me Google it and figure. And then most of my functions are not optimized. My functions look like, you could have just done this all like this instead of you're counting that column and then you're matching this thing and then you're looking that up. And it's like, dude, there's this thing that you could just go like matrix style. I don't know those functions. So I do it the most logical way in my head. And I just go, well, if I just chain this and copy this and then do this to all the cells, if I create another sheet like this and do a VLOOKUP like that, that's the only thing that kills everything is that when you download the slate and the names are changed.
Yep. And then you have to, so I have in like every single one of my spreadsheets, I have a macro that changes names based on universal lists that I have. That's why I have that acronyms list.
Right. See, like that's the type of stuff. It's like, get out of here. Like, you know what I do, James? I manually edit all the right. What else can I do?
You can build a macro to do it for you.
Right. But I now I have to learn how to do macros. Okay. So now there's something else.
You should just never learn VBA. It's the worst coding language. And the only reason I use it anymore is for that macro list. I try really hard not to code in Excel anymore because VBA is just,
that's why do you think I do everything so manually and so non-optimally when it takes me 90 minutes to create all the MMA lineups? And then I have to create sheets upon sheets because I don't know how to put them all in one. So what I'll do, James, what I did for MMA is that I'll put a sheet for the slate. Like everything that I get from a CSV or an XML source, I create its own sheet for. Right. Okay. Yeah, and then I use VLOOKUP across the board for all of that. Mm-hmm. So like if I'm downloading the contest standings CSV, which has everyone's lineups in it for an existing contest, like I essentially do like a 6-cell VLOOKUP to the other sheet that has all the possible lineups on it.
Yeah. And
then use like a count if, like for dupes, I just use count like everything's just count these. How many of these are there? But I don't know the thing is like, I don't know per person. I don't know per username. And if I was going to do that, I would have to add another count. Like it's ridiculous. I'm cutting and pasting. Oh, this works and gives me this data. Let me put this in a parentheses in this other function. And now I have a sheet that you go into a cell and the function is like 4 lines long.
Oh, dude, I have an ownership algorithm in League of Legends that I need to rewrite badly, but it's like legitimately 13 or 14 like lines.
Yeah, now. But you're doing something in it. Me, I'm just counting stuff. Me, I'm not even like it's not doing anything other than giving me it's 17. Like you see this whole 3-line thing to give me 17 because it's counting this and then comparing it to that and then counting that and then okay 17 right. And then I could go by username, and it's like, okay, I can't do anything dynamically either because I don't know how to do it.
If you're like Jordan and you're having all these problems, I do Excel coaching. You can
but it's not. They're not problems. You understand what I'm like?
I do.
Right, James. When I get a new if I download an MMA contest standing CSV, like I don't have a way of saying count how many for this user unless I hard code the name of the person in. So like if I create a second sheet and I go, I want to know how many uniques the Colts has, I could do it. But like if he's not playing, that'll just be like nothing. Div 0 crap. Like I have to manually put, and then in each box put the VLOOKUP back. Like I can't dynamically, download the contest standing CSV and then give me all of those users and import it into there because all of my functions have the exact cell and users in it. So it's like, if that's in a different order, nothing works. So on a scale of 1 to 10, am I further down on a 3? Am I now at a 2?
No, you're at a 3. You're fine.
Okay.
It's like, because you're still using like nested functions and stuff.
Right. Well, what else? That logically, how else am I supposed to think? Right.
Right.
I mean, but that's how I originally learned SQL also. And that's why I never became a good SQL coder either, because all I'm doing is making nested functions. And I know that in any professional environment, like if you use my code to every extent of the word, it's going to take like 700 times as long as anyone else's code, and I'd get fired immediately. Remember, I came from a web development time before CSS, when everything was nested tables.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were this little during that time, right? 1997.
I was 5. Yeah.
Right. You weren't using Netscape Navigator 2.02. You weren't.
I was not. No, I was not using that.
Okay. So this is maybe interesting to learn that maybe people that are listening going, they'll look at me and go, this dude knows a lot of the concepts. Sharp DFS player. Boy, he's really bad at Excel. Really didn't expect him to be that bad at Excel.
I mean, I think that there was maybe, I think there was like 15, 16 minutes of good stuff on this show.
But it also shows the type of stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, learning Excel, but I think you could learn a lot in Excel by just literally Googling stuff.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I always make this joke, but most anyone who's a really good coder is just really good at using Google. That's pretty much it. Like every single person who I know who's really, really good at code, basically they find a problem and they're like, I wonder if somebody else has already solved this. And then they go find what that person did that solves like the problem. Right. But most of coding is like, there's a core problem that you're trying to solve. And then somebody else has solved that problem, but their solution does not matter at all to you. Like you can't replicate what they did to solve your problem. It just gives you a direction to go. And then you have to have the intuition to figure that out.
Right. Well, that's how I did JavaScript back in the day.
Every single good coder, like no matter what you're coding, you can be coding front end for a website. You can be coding, simulations. You can be doing, tournament simulations, stuff like that. Anything, any kind of code, somebody has likely solved the problem, and you just need to go find what their solution is and then apply it to whatever you're doing. That's
right. But what I used to say is that anything that you've come across, like when I'm doing front end development work, is that especially like in JavaScript, like everything that has ever been used in JavaScript is available.
Yeah.
The problem, and whatever your specific thing, you could find something that's 98% of the way there.
Yep.
So you're basically finding someone else's code that does a similar thing that you're looking to do. And then you're going, well, I need to do this, but it needs to be over here. And it's like, you're downloading 14 lines of code and then you're changing some variables and you're like, okay, well, I'll just write this line in and that takes care of my little nuance and we're good.
That's all coding is.
Right. And then all you have to do that for an entire website is do that about 68 times and you're good.
Yep. Right. And that's why coders get paid the big bucks. They're
right.
really good at Googling.
So if people have Excel questions, you'll answer them in the Pater Discord, right?
I will answer them to the best of my ability. A lot of the time, like when it comes to Excel things, like if you ask me a problem with Excel, I'm actually happy. I have worked with subs and like people in the Discord, and I've had them share with me their spreadsheet, and I'll solve problems for them, just like if I have time. I'm always happy to help with that kind of stuff. I just want everybody to be able to have tools. So yeah, you can find the Discord at paterdfs.com/Discord. with that link. You can do that. You can find all of my projections, including Madden Sims projections, baseball, basketball, all the esports over at PaterDFS.com. And then,
and you have to pay and you're going to have to pay for it, because if I have to pay for it, everyone has to.
Yeah, you need to get a subscription, but I have a lot of options. If you use the code DoubleDong, all capitals, then you'll get $10 off your first month. So, yeah, I built a coupon.
And you can find me in the RotoGrinders Discord if you want to ask non-Excel related questions, or you want to how about this? Join the RotoGrinders Discord, join the Blenders Game Theory channel, and you could help me with Excel. I'm recruiting people to come to my channel to help me do my stuff. You can follow James Pater _DFS, me, Blender HD on Twitter. We got a 9-game slate coming up today in NBA. Grinders live later today, 4:45 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel. So hit that notification bell, hit the thumbs ups on your way out the door. Crunch time is for premium members. You could always get a RotoGrinders premium subscription. Click that link in the description. Get $10 off your first month. We got baseball coming up. We still got NCAA basketball projections also. We got stuff for every sport. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll go over this 9-game slate and talk about it. Is it a short slate tomorrow in basketball? I don't know. We'll take a look-see tomorrow. And I'll be here, as always, answering your DFS strategy questions on the DFS pregame show on RotoGrinders.com.